Hello, and welcome back everybody. So tonight we are going to do some charming, and I thought before we would charm, I'd take advantage of this new extended target window, and there's a nice hotkey you can make if you're keeping one charm pet, or at least keeping it for a little bit. There's right here /xtar, the letter X, tar, space 5 would be this one I'm assigning right now, the fifth one down. And pressing that hotkey will target it. And so to make it even better, you can join it in with your charm key. So right there I've got /pause 5, comma, space, /xtar space 5, and then the other four lines are all cast 3, which is where my charm is. So that should target the pet that you have assigned, and then cast your charm. The extra casts are just to make up for fizzles for the most part. Also, if you hit it too soon, if a spell is reloading, it'll still cast. So as you can see, it's working pretty well here. And I'll break it mid-fight and show you. It's not going to be a game breaker for fighting one mob at a time, but if you're fighting the same mobs and you've got 4 or 5 in camp, especially if you're just keeping the same pet, it's a very useful tool. So you can see here, I'm going to break this charm right here with the enemy targeted, drop my stun, and then spam my recharm button. There it goes, targeting. Yep, there we go. So we will start off with that, and we will get into some more adventures here shortly. We're going to head down to another camp. Alright, so now that we are done showing one of the many uses of extended target, we are going to make our way down to the King camp. Drops the fungi tunic, fungi staff. Here's all the spells we're using. We've got the highest level stun, got Tash, Charm, Slow, Theft of Thought, very important spell. And then one of our mezzes, and then the bottom two spells I switch around a lot. At the moment it's a Ruin and a higher level mez, but I'll be switching them here. Usually to start it'll be Pacify and Improved Invisibility. But the other spells, Slow you don't absolutely need Slow up. That's another one that can be taken down for something else. The others you have to keep up. And the mez slot depends what you're doing. If you're traveling like this, you won't maybe want to do the high level mez, give you time to memblur if you get aggro, but you don't really want to use the high level mez otherwise because they have longer cooldowns. So here we have some Scene Viz, just pretty easy as an enchanter to get through most zones. There's actually 3 total Scene Viz over here. Just gonna stand in the middle, pacify the other 2, and go ahead, re-invis. Enchanters are just one of the most powerful classes, or at the moment, they're the most powerful class. They might be vulnerable to charm breaks, but as far as ceilings, they are the highest. Bards can do a lot of great things if you're outdoor and the mob doesn't summon. Shamans are very good at killing even mobs that summon, but Charm Pet is just unbeatable when it goes right. Here we're just doing our normal check for Seeing Viz, going through the jail. Now I am on a 60 enchanter. The enchanter is on Agnar, and so they are in pop, but he is level 60. He does have like 40 or 50 AAs. His gear isn't that great. He's actually got a lot of Insidious gear from Plane of Hate. He's got a couple decent items, but he's sitting at 2,500 hit points, unbuffed. The only thing I threw on him was Levitation, Enduring Breath, and KEI. but he's nothing special. So here we go. Made it down to the king camp. Now the realistic thing is when you get here on Mangler, you're gonna have to pick through to find an empty camp. But later down the road, it won't be as difficult. But early on, you're going to be low level first of all, so you're going to need to level. You can't do this at 51 as an enchanter. The lowest I did this with an enchanter was on a previous server at 57, and that was very difficult. So here we go with these mobs. I'm going to start breaking up the camp. So I'd like to kill the placeholder out of those three first. That way I don't have the king spawning while I'm fighting other things. And so I'm going to go ahead and charm this guy here, placeholder, and beat up some roamers. So let me see if I can go grab this roamer here. I'm going to speed through a lot of the more boring parts. I mean, nothing exciting's happening right now. And then I'll slow it down when more important things are coming up. Anybody that's played an enchanter knows how this goes. I use two different charms, Boltrans versus Allure, just depends. I prefer to use Allure if I can, because it lasts a lot longer, but it does take longer to cast. But when you're in a fight like the king, you can, it is possible to live on a break, and I'll show you, I'll show you if it comes up, but I'll show you how to avoid dying on a charm break during the king fight as best as possible. So that charm break's not very difficult. So I've killed one trash mob. Here's an aggro because the guy ran. Enchanters, if you're the only one here, you're going to be unmemming and rememming a lot of spells. You also need to bring a lot of paradots for your ruin. Remember to be casting Theft of Thought a lot. All these shrooms are Theft of Thoughtable. Even the warriors. But what's really key to this is you really want, oh, there's Charm Break. You really want a priest. You want a cleric pet. You can't do this without the cleric pet if you're by yourself. Oh, kind of a bad moment here. So what happened is the charm broke. I ended up switching charm pets because I'd rather kill this placeholder here now. So I mez the placeholder, here's the other guy. So I'm gonna charm the second mob. This is the roamer I have now. And now I've got to root this guy. I've got low health aggro, so he's gonna come at me. So I'll root him, and then I'll get my pet on him. But this is a dangerous spot. And I'm almost dead. And charm break, some good hits, plus maybe a resist. I mean, I don't have many hit points. Got a few hundred hit points left right here. And this is why you really need a cleric pet. So, and you can see I'm keeping ruin up as much as possible. I don't really want to haste my pet, so I'm gonna hold off. There's root break. I have to get root back on him. And we'll go ahead and finish him up here. And then I'm gonna have to go find a cleric pet. Because if you haven't seen it yet, the cleric pets are very useful here. They will heal themselves and they will also heal you. But they're kind of weird about it. They don't always do it. Sometimes I'm just hanging around and then they won't heal. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and invis and try to get this guy off my aggro so I can go find a healer. So go ahead and stun him. Go ahead and drop Mez on him. Now, normally I would have to go, get a Membler up, but sometimes Mez Memblers anyways, so I didn't have to. Saves me memming Membler. So I'm gonna go around here. I'd like to check over here first, and there is a priest and level 51. So here you can see the difference between Bolt Trans and Allure. Now, you can't see how long they last, but I think Allure is roughly 18 minutes as the max, and Bolt Trans is somewhere around 7 or 8 minutes. So it just depends. Obviously, if you can't find a level 51, you have to use Bolt Trans, but you can use either one. So here I'm going to go ahead and pacify everything near this priest that I want, and go ahead and just grab him right here. I'm not even going to start with the Tash just because I don't want him casting on me. I just want to get him into my camp spot. Go ahead and pacify this guy and bring him into our camp. And we're going to do a little bit of clearing here. Now keep in mind we've already cleared the placeholder, so we've got a lot of time. Oh, there's Charm Break. Take this opportunity, throw a Tash on him. And so since we've cleared all the trash, we don't mind taking a little break here because we don't want this stuff respawning on us during King. So my pet should be healing me up here. And I'm going to go ahead and start splitting the rest of these. I should be okay. So I pacified one, pulled with slow. This guy already had a Tash from before. Oh, there's Charm Break. Go ahead and stun, recharm, and there we go. Looks like he is throwing a heal on me, and there he goes. So back up to full. Now I would recommend, there are going to be heal potions available. I recommend bringing a bunch if you're an enchanter. Oh, there's another Charm Break. See, that heal saves me. I mean, I was at pretty low life. And they'll do that somewhere under 40%. But like I said, it's not every time. I've gone through here and been at 20%, 30%, gone up and down, and they don't heal me. But, it could be during combat. I haven't figured out the exact formula for when they decide to heal. But I am very glad that he decided to actually heal me there. The good thing is they do seem to heal themselves most of the time. But to do these fights that I'm going to show you, not just this camp, I'm going to show you another camp too. But you really need the cleric pet to do the healing. But keep in mind though, if you have just any healer box or a friend that's a healer, you can imagine how much easier this is. I mean, if I'm doing this with just the enchanter. So you'll be doing a lot of this if you're sitting at this camp. A lot of waiting around. You kill a few trash mobs here and there. If you're actually getting XP, you'll be pulling a lot more shrooms. But just to keep the camp down, you don't need to clear that many. So maybe the placeholder plus the 2 on top of there, which you don't even have to kill the top 2. If they are not cleric mobs, if they're just low-level warrior mobs and you are fine with them, you can just pacify them and keep pulling the one placeholder. At least prevents you from getting multiple clerics and, mobs getting healed. So it just depends what you're doing. If you're trying to get some XP, just kill them all. But if you're 60 in max XP, just looking to get some fungi tunics and stuff, then yeah, you can just leave the others up. So you can see, threw up a haste on my pet, and now that he hasn't run out of mana, but he's not casting as much, so he's doing some more damage. So this is even, I think I'm fast forwarding it a little bit too. It's still just the grueling, a lot of boring stuff until Reese pops. There's not really a risk of dying right now to the trash mobs when it's just these. If you pull a train, yeah, but just these mobs that are roaming in and out, it's pretty easy to take care of them. Alright, so as you can see, things could get out of control though if the king runs like that guy does. Alright, so let's see. Get my ruin back up. And let's see. What else am I gonna get here? The main spell that I want to mem is Membler. You'll have different variations. This chanter was a box chanter. I happen to only have the low level Membler, but it still works just fine. But there's a spell Blanket of Forgetfulness, which is an AE version, which is pretty great. But you do want a Membler if you're doing this by yourself. And the reason is that if you have aggro on the king, from, let's say, you tash it or try to slow it, or your stun hits it when you start recharming. When you recharm your pet, you're gonna have that, the load of aggro, and your pet's starting from scratch, and you've got the king beating on you. It doesn't take many king hits to bring you down. So you want, sometimes once you get a little far in, you want to reset the aggro. That way charm breaks and your pet can get aggro back pretty quick. But I am very glad that he decided. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through some of this until we get a little closer to King Repop here. Just a bunch of trash clear, recharming. So right here, my pet's a little lower in health than I want him to be, and he won't heal himself, so I'm mezzing him and memblaring him, and then as you can see, he regens to full pretty quickly. And then I'll recharm him here. That way, just give him a little bit of buffer. So I end up making the extended target hotkey right here, and you can see me making the hotkey. I haven't had it's been useful, but I'm so used to it I hadn't needed it yet. So here's King. Here we go. So we got him before he started casting haste, so we don't need to dispel him, but bad pathing got us 2 adds here. Shouldn't be a problem though, even though we got a Mez resist there. So just focus, get these adds, Mez down, tashed, and there we go, we got them both down. So now we can focus on the king. I memmed a lower level slow because he can be very resistant, and so paying 200 plus mana, 300 mana per slow is it goes through your mana too quickly. So as you can see, I'm trying to membler him already. Land a slow on him. The cool thing is with the extended target window, you can see if your membler lands easier. So let me get my mobs mezzed again. You want to be checking. Make sure you don't want to let the mez get too low while you're charming and fighting a named, because if you have charm break and you've got these two mezzes sitting at 8 seconds, you might not have enough time to get back to them, and then they'll end up hitting you and interrupt you. It's just, you don't need that extra life taken. It'll happen, just, try to make it not happen as much as possible. I still have mezzes break when I'm not paying enough attention. So far everything's going good. Got everything under control. King is about 60%. He's still got a lay on hands and some heals in him. So I'm going to end up getting mana sieve up just to reduce his heals. It's not necessary, but maybe it'll cut the fight down 10-15 seconds. So we're not doing anything else anyways. We don't really want to be nuking right now. It'll give us a lot of aggro. We can nuke later when he's almost dead. So just focusing on mezzing, Theft of Thought, and mana sieving the king. And since we do have mobs in camp, king won't run, so really all you need to be aware of are healer mobs nearby. You don't want to have a healer add and have a complete heal hit. It's not the end of the world. You're still probably fine, but when you're fighting the king, you really want to just get him dead as quickly as possible. One thing I will note, it's very important, having a cleric pet. If the charm breaks and the cleric starts healing another mob, if you don't stun it, if you only recharm it, it'll continue casting even though it becomes your pet. It'll keep the heal going. And I learned that through, well, I figured it out because it happened to me multiple times. So you really want to make sure your charm lands before the stun releases. Sometimes you have a second where the mob hits you 1 second and then your charm lands, which is usually fine. But when your charm pet's healing other mobs, just remember that you need it. You cannot have it casting its heal while you're charming it, or else the heal will go through. So you see, dropping another membler. Got a lot of hate on him, so just in case. And now we're gonna start nuking. Well, see, oh, forgot a mez. There's a lot going on. Very easy to forget. So now I'm just nuking them out. This is where you just pray your charm doesn't break, because you can die at any moment. And this one should get him. And there we go. Let's see. Well, we got the robe. It's not what we were looking for, but we did kill him. So we did take him down. It can be done. Bring a couple friends. Should make it very easy. But at least now you know that it can be done. And the key, like I said, is the cleric pet. Now if you're doing this with some friends, doesn't matter what you charm. But if you're by yourself, you need the cleric pet. So now that the king's dead, just got to clear up your trash, and it's all easy from here on out. And this was, not a great, not best case scenario getting the 2 ads, but we also didn't run into any cleric ads, so it wasn't too bad. But just gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and hopefully you guys learned something. Hope you get to take advantage, even if you don't use it at this camp. Hopefully you take some of the the tricks of charming and apply it somewhere else. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me or comment below, and I'd love to answer them. If you'd like to see other videos of something else, let me know. I'm always just looking to put out some videos that'll help out people. So thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed this video and hope you enjoy the rest of the videos. Thanks.